A wise man by the name of Mahatma Gandhi once stated that, quote, the future depends on what we do in the present, quote. While this quote may seem very obvious, there is a much bigger picture behind it that I have come to understanding of. This is that it's impossible to make an instant change in the present that will have such meaning. However, creating a change for the future is a change that can have lasting benefit and a true impact. One very important issue that the quote is especially necessary for the present day is our climate. Our climate is being worsened every day we breathe, and now is the only time we have before irreversible damages are done. We are doing things in the present that need to be changed so us and our children can have a future. Now, I know I am talking all about the present and the future, but let's take a step in the past when when every morning millions of Americans would wake up and get ready to attend a physical job or a school. Prior to the COVID 19 virus, a normal routine would look like rolling out of bed, getting ready, and turning the car on to drive wherever you had to go. Seems pretty simple, right? Nothing stands out. Let me restate one part that you easily heard over: turning the car on to drive wherever you had to go. I want you to consider when you turn that car on, does your car roar to life with an engine or a quiet start with a battery? Currently, the strong majority of the US is hearing an engine spark to life with a simple twist of a key or push of a button. You still may not see much of a problem. A car's a car, right? Doesn't matter if it runs on gas or electricity. Wrong. It does matter, and that is what I come here to speak to you about. First, I'm going to address the problem with gas vehicles. Second, the effect gas vehicles has caused on the environment. And finally, the solution to saving our environment using electric vehicles. Beginning off, I would like to explain how a gas vehicle or car works. It burns gasoline or petrol, which fuels an engine to make the car move. The gas then primarily emits carbon dioxide and nitrogen, as well as other gases out of the exhaust. Currently, carbon dioxide is the most harmful and most occurring greenhouse gas. Millions of pounds of carbon dioxide are being emitted by daily car drivers. Caused by carbon dioxide is the greenhouse gas effect. Stated by Sciencing.com, quote, excessive CO2 creates a cover that traps the sun's heat energy in an atmospheric bubble, warming the planet and the oceans. An increase in CO2 plays havoc with the Earth's climate by causing changes in weather patterns. Quote, here are just a few of the other many lasting consequences that will be caused by climate change and carbon emissions, which include more frequent and severe weather, higher death rates, dirtier air, higher wildlife extinction rates, more acidic oceans, and higher sea levels, all stated true by the Natural Resources Defense Council. Cars actually emit more carbon dioxide than you may think. The Environmental Protection Agency has stated that, quote, a typical passenger vehicle emits about 4.6 metric tons of carbon dioxide per year, and every gallon of gasoline burned creates about 8,887 grams of carbon dioxide, quote. This is a large contribution to the global warming by every citizen who drives a gasoline car. Volkswagen, which owns many other car companies, including Porsche and Audi, were tested in 2018 and found that they had the worst emissions from their cars over any other company, which is extremely detrimental, knowing how many companies and cars are made by Volkswagen. It's not just Volkswagen, though. Renault, Nissan, Toyota, GM, and Hyundai Kia also had a great deal of cars with high levels of carbon emissions. We are in a climate change emergency, and yet common car companies are still contributing large amounts of emissions to climate change. Um, After knowing how harmful emissions in gasoline cars are, you may have guessed that they have and are continuing to have some very negative impacts on the environment. As you can imagine, with millions of daily drivers, the amount of emissions greatly adds up. The EPA states that in 2018, 28.2% of emissions came from transportation, which in majority is gasoline cars. This is the greatest of all emissions contributors. Another effect of owning a gas vehicle is you have to constantly spend money and use up natural resources at the gas station. There is only a limited amount of gasoline on this earth, so if we use it all up, the only way to drive will be electric. It also sucks so much money out of people's pockets every year. Based on a study calculated annual yearly expenses from Sterling Price at Valve Penguin, it states that the average US citizen spends an annual $3,000 on gasoline alone. This reveals that the earlier your average citizen stops using gasoline cars, the earlier they will benefit financially and the world will benefit environmentally. We also use other harmful fuels like diesel in many trucks, which is also extremely harmful to the environment and also releases many CO2 emissions. Like stated earlier, the real harmful effect caused by vehicles is the greenhouse gas effect. NASA states that since s- NASA states that, quote, since around the time of the Industrial Revolution, the late 18th and early 19th centuries, Earth's atmosphere was warmed by 1.8 degrees Fahrenheit. This may not seem like a lot and much of a difference at all, but also, quote, the ocean has risen by 6 inches over the past 100 years, quote. The warming is also on track to continue. NASA scientists predict that our planet will warm by about 7.2 degrees Fahrenheit by the end of the 21st century. With temperatures rising and ocean levels rising, this will continue to lead to various problems like the destruction and bleaching of coral reefs, which the NOAA states, quote, coral reefs protect coastlines from storms and erosion, um, provide jobs for local communities, and offer opportunities for recreation. They are also a source of food and new medicines. Over 500,000,000 people depend on reefs for food, income, and protection. Fishing, diving, and snorkeling on and near reefs add hundreds of millions of dollars to local businesses. Quote, this not only oh, not only this, but the rising water also destroys and causes tons of problems on land too, like erosion and the destruction of habitats. Driving won't even be necessary if we continue to destroy our planet through global warming. What you've been waiting for. Moving on, I finally bring you to good news, the solution to gas vehicles and climate change. The wonderful world of electric vehicles, which Elon Musk, Tesla CEO, states, quote, in order to have clean air in cities, you have to go electric, quote. And he is definitely not wrong when he says that. Fully electric cars like Tesla and many different models of other companies produce zero emissions when driving. You can drive across the country from coast to coast and know that the amount of pollution you are causing is zero directly from your car. EDF, Energy.com, revealed a fact stating, quote, over a year, just one electric car on the road saves an average of 1.5 million grams of CO2. That's the equivalent of 4 return flights from London to Barcelona, quote. Putting thousands of millions of cars on the street will save our planet in one of the best ways possible. Another non-perfect but very good solution is hybrid vehicles, which use both gasoline and electricity. The Alternative Fuels Data Center shows that hybrid cars create 50% less emissions than a gasoline-powered vehicle, while also getting just as many or more miles. While hybrid cars are not perfect, or while hybrid cars are still not perfect, the future of fully electric cars society looks very bright. While the amount of electric cars on the street is currently low, it is projected that many more electric vehicles will be seen and sold in the future. According to an analysis by Bloomberg New Energy Finance, by 2040, electric cars can make up 57% of all passenger car sales worldwide, the report found. In 2019, only 10% of electric vehicle buyers are between the ages of 25 and 34, according to Cox Automotive. The Bloomberg New Energy Finance also revealed, quote, falling battery costs will mean electric vehicles will also be cheaper to buy in the US and Europe as soon as 2025. Batteries currently account for half the cost of EVs, electric vehicles, and their prices will fall by about 77% between 2016 and 2030. The London-based researcher said, quote, these electric vehicles are going to get cheaper and cheaper, which will only make it more affordable to the average consumer. Tesla is currently the only full electric car company, and even the CEO Musk said that he plans for his next car to be about $25,000, which is less than the average brand new gasoline car. Many people also worry about having to go on long trips and not having a way to fuel your car, but there is around 26,000 fast charging stations with around 84,000 public plugs. There are also plans to put more stations and superchargers all around the nation and world to make driving electric even more convenient. Wrapping up, whether you like it or not, electric vehicles are a solution that we need to adopt now in the present to have a way in the future. The electric future must take charge whether you like it or not. The next time you hop in your car and turn that key to start up your engine, it should flash in your mind the problems that you are causing to our Mother Earth. The simple technologies like biking and walking are always another simple solution to letting our planet breathe. If you are in the market currently or are wanting a new vehicle, hopping on the electric train now is the path to a healthy and cost efficient future. Sharing a personal story, I just convinced my mother to buy an electric car, and every time I get in it, puts a smile on my face, looking at the trees and the skies and knowing that I'm creating a difference to preserve them for the future. Can't look for too long though, because believe me, electric cars are lightning fast with none more than a simple hum. Thank you for listening, and remember um, that the struggling patrol powered present is reaching out for the electric powered future.